This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we'll welcome everyone to the August 27th Finance Committee meeting, virtual meeting. The first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting, June or August,
August 21st.
August 21st.
Second?
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Nice job again, Brian.
They are excellent. Thank you.
And we were winded last week, so, yes, 4 pages. So
You did a great job.
very good job. With that said, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote. The next item on the agenda is an update on the budgets. I do want to just quickly administratively get to, next week, we have 2 meetings scheduled. We're probably going to do away with one of those meetings. We have them for Tuesday and Wednesday. Just, is there a preference for one or the other? Tuesday better or Wednesday better?
Tuesday's better to keep.
Tuesday's better to keep. Okay, so we could probably, how about for your end, Jamie?
It does not matter. Wait, Tuesday, I don't think you can have a meeting because isn't that election? No?
Is that an election?
Yeah, September
It is.
1st.
So you
Yeah.
legally can't have,
Yeah,
there's no
it is.
public meetings can be scheduled on the election.
Yeah,
No, we do not have, I'm sorry, I got the
First.
wrong dates I'm looking at. Next week, we do not have any meetings. You are correct, yeah. It's the week after. We have the Tuesday and the Wednesday.
I just know they're set up in the gym at the community center.
Right, yeah,
and you
okay.
can have a meeting on that same day.
Understood, yeah. So we have nothing.
So we're talking the 8th and 9th.
Yes.
The 8th is still better for me.
That's a
All right.
Tuesday. That's a Tuesday. 8.
Yes.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. And that's all I have on that for the budgets. Let me just say that the discussions are reaching to the point where we are going to be using the stabilization fund, or at least that's what the opinion is of the higher-ups, or the people who are in charge with putting together the budget. And we may be able to vote that one tonight if you would like to. There would still have to be some makeup as to what would go into Article 4, but at least we know the totals. And maybe we can get that from Carol tonight, but we'll discuss those when we get to that portion of the agenda. Any questions on the budget? I think we're ready to vote a couple of them, but certainly not the schools, I don't think. All right, we'll go from there. We do have, the next item on the agenda is the draft warrant and possible votes. We have new one-liners that I handed out tonight, and you can see that we have 2 new articles that have been added. They're in green on my sheet. They're number 25 and number 26. So we have no motions on those, so I want to make sure that we address those first. The Conservation Wetlands bylaw article was just handed out today, and it's in very rough form. The concepts are all correct in the new draft that I just got hit with just before this meeting. And it's several pages, so I'm going to just, because no one's read it, no one's seen it, that we should hold off on that one. So on Article 25, I would entertain a motion to make no recommendation on pending further information, and that we all take the opportunity to read it and go through it. I hate to add one of those, but I'm hoping we can subtract some of those later to reduce our total. So, do we have anything on that?
So moved.
Moved by Brian, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to make no recommendation pending further information. Discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote, 5-0. And then there was Article 26. This is a housekeeping item having to do with reservists. It was negotiated in the contract, and it has to be brought up, voted by law as well. We have currently nobody that's qualified for this or can take advantage of this at this point. This would be if somebody in the future. So I would move that we accept and adopt it if that would be the preference of the board, if anybody would like to make that motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt Article 26, continuation pay for
25,
reservists.
yeah, 26, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, the numbers changed
Yeah, I'm
tonight.
sorry, I apologize.
From just 2 days ago. It's like,
Right. I can second that.
okay, it's moved and seconded. Discussion on that? Again, you can see in the explanation, once you get it.
What you get.
This is, actually, that was in
It is,
the
that one was
Monday
in
night.
there,
That
yeah.
one was in there, yeah. So you can read the explanation on this one, and it
Yeah.
is housekeeping. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a unanimous vote, 5-0. The next one is, I'd like to go over is Article 12. There's a new number on that, and I'm going to step out of the room for this one and let John handle this one, but there's a new number, and you'd have to reconsider it and then do any action you want to do if you want to do it.
Okay. For the record, Dana DeCosta has left the room for discussion on Article 12, which concerns the DPW department. I'd like to see a motion made to amend or to reconsider the motion that we previously made in Article 12. The motion reads, the article reads, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds or borrow significant sum of money as may be required to defray costs related to the facilities, grounds, maintenance, and repair included in the fiscal year 2021 capital plan and to act fully thereon. This has been requested by the selectmen. The estimated cost is $55,000. This article at one point had three separate requests in it, and it's been pared down to one request of $55,000. I have a motion to,
I move to accept and amend Article 12.
get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on that article? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes 5-0.
4-0.
4-0, excuse me, you're right, thanks, Brian. 4-0. And again, for the record, Dana had left the room for discussion and vote on this article. Come back in, Mr. DeCosta. That article passed 4-0.
Don't you have to move to reconsider and then move the new number?
Did you reconsider it? Yeah, you'd
Yeah,
have to
we-
move to reconsider.
We did reconsider.
Yeah, now you have to move the new number, so I don't think
Yeah.
you should come back in.
So your motion was to reconsider?
Yes,
Yes.
I opened it.
All right.
Okay.
He
Good
seconded it,
point.
we voted,
Actually,
so you've had a reconsideration that was accepted,
All
but
right.
we haven't given the new number and moved on that.
all right, so I'm actually gonna, let me just sit down for this. How you doing? I'm gonna, just because to make sure that on the warrant, it says that at least 5 people acted on this, I'm just gonna abstain from this. You've already had your discussion on it. So if someone makes a motion, you can handle it from here, John, but I'm just gonna abstain from it.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that, or have someone make a motion that we accept this article at $55,000.
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Any discussion on that article? All those in favor of?
Aye?
Aye.
Well, aye, and one abstention.
Yeah,
4-0.
I'm
Four-
abstaining.
4 yes, 1 abstention.
4-0-1. That way it adds up to 5, just procedurally.
Yep.
Okay, we have zoning articles. We should be able to do something here, too. The Article 23 is the West Harwich Special District. The selectmen have already voted to support that, where they have taken the document and sent it back to, this was created by the Cape Cod Commission in conjunction with the planning board. And where they are supporting it, it's, in my opinion, very difficult for the Finance Committee to not support it unless we have some sort of grounds for not supporting it because it has some poor language or something we want to take out of it, which after reading it, I don't see any of those things, but it's been in there for quite a while. I don't see any reason why we can't take a position. We'd actually be last taking a position on it this way. It's been already run through the paces with the commission, Board of Selectmen. It's been talked about for over a year, several years, actually, if you go back to the beginning. So for Article 23, yep, you can have a question.
I'm a resident of West Harwich. Can I
Okay.
still participate in this vote?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
unless you're gonna somehow benefit financially from this. But, Article 23, you would be allowed under this to vote for this.
Okay.
It's a zoning article that affects everybody in the zone, everybody the same. So the first thing we would need is a motion to reconsider Article 23, West Harwich Special District. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider Article 23.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to reconsider Article 23. Discussion?
I just have just a quick point. I know it's been talked about it. Has there been much public meetings on this? I know the selectmen last week had one on it, but there had
They've had
been
them previous.
previous
yeah.
many public discussions on it.
COVID, yeah.
Because I did read through the zoning laws and
And the planning board has had several.
input into it too, so, okay.
And it's gotten a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's been talked about for many years, that's for sure.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote. So is there a motion to support it, or? Somebody
Sure, I'll make a motion to support Article 23.
accept and adopt? Is there a second?
I second.
All right, seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I see what we did, okay.
5-0.
Just as a side note, I think Charlene Greenhouse should be commended for working on this, because she put a lot of time and effort.
And again, that one had a lot of help from the people, the neighbors.
Yeah.
We have changed zoning essential services, and it's just a definition change. They've already had the public hearing on this. They're recommending it to the town meeting, and it's just to fix the wording. There's a place in the, two places where that wording shows up, and they contradict each other, and it's just to straighten out one of the bylaws instead of the other. And this is the one that they would prefer to straighten out. So it's a fairly straightforward kind of thing. It's more in the line of housekeeping than anything. And if you see it the way I do, I would ask for a motion to reconsider it.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded to reconsider the Article 24, change zoning essential services. And again, a definition. Discussion? All those in favor of reconsideration, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Is there a new motion to accept and adopt?
I make a motion that we accept and adopt Article 24 concerning the zoning change for essential services.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Discussion? Anything?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote. The other one, the multifamily, the selectmen aren't ready on that. Public hearing's not coming till later on that, and there's a lot of reading on that one as well. I don't think there's any way that we're ready for it yet either. And I think this one, where it involves so much, we should, like they are, waiting for the public hearing results. Okay, the next article I'd like to talk about, if we can, is Article 40, the authorization of departmental revolving funds. And I handed out a sheet tonight that shows the numbers, and there's only been one change from last year. And as we talked about, we really, the selectmen and the finance committee and the different departments are really gonna get into this between now and next May. There's just not time to do it now, but basically, I see, at least if you hear what's coming out of them now and the feelings of this board, that there would be a general transition of some items going into the budget instead of into the revolving fund. And that some of those funds would make it into the general fund, which they don't from the revolving funds. So, the one change is with the cultural center, and that was so that, the amount of money to keep the doors open and keep it insured and to pay for lights and electricity and all that would come out of that revolving fund. So that's the only one that was increased to, that $100,000 that came out of Article 12. You were gonna have to pay for that with free cash. It's now gonna come out of their fund, which has over 300,000 in it, so that's a better source of funding. So for Article 40, we have no recommendations, so if you would like to vote the same as what we did last year, I would need a motion to reconsider Article 40.
I'll make a motion to reconsider Article 40.
I second.
Been moved and seconded and to reconsider Article 40. Discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we would need a new motion. Again, there's been one change from last year, and I think we understand why. It's so that they could capture that 125,000, that 100,000 to keep the lights on.
I'll make a motion that we accept and adopt the authorization for departmental revolving funds.
Is there a second?
I second.
Discussion at all? A lot of homework for next year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So I think that's most of the no recommendations. Let me just double check everything. So that leaves us multifamily, and then we get to the operating budgets. Carol, are you on here? Carol?
I don't see her.
I'm here.
Okay, I just had a question for you. If we were to vote the town budget and the Article 4 with some of the money coming from stabilization, do we have a table for stabilization?
Yes, I just finished it this evening, and I can bring it up to you. How's that?
That would be perfect, wouldn't it? Thank you.
Okay, I'll have it right up to you.
This is work in motion. So if we have all the numbers for the budget, and now a portion would come out of stabilization, our savings account, which is pretty much what it's there for. And if you can think of a worse year than this year that you would save it for, then maybe that's a part of the discussion. And if you can think of the fact that we're also looking towards FY '22 and wanting to save money for that, out of the $4.5 million, it looks like we'll be saving 3.9, and we'll be freeing up some free cash to do that with. So, at least the way I see it. But once we get the table, we can probably reconsider both of those and vote those, and we'd have 2 less articles on there.
That's,
Well, we'd be able to vote the stabilization, which would are the other one you're suggesting we would be able to move on?
the operating budget.
Operating budget itself for the town,
4
not
and
the,
5.
not the school one.
4
And that would then leave us
It's 3.
3 articles that we haven't got a position on, which we would be able to fix between now and town meeting, I think, and have a sheet on those at town meeting like we've discussed, so,
And the votes tonight will go to print, right?
yes.
Yeah.
This is our last
So-
shot at it. I'll write them tonight and send them to the town administrator, like I did last week, thinking that that was the last week. I mean, we're very fortunate that they got an extra week,
Okay.
and so.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
But with Carol, just a quick question, thank you very much. Within the 574, do we know what the makeup of that is? What the is that your chart that you had before? I have that.
Do we know what the makeup is?
Of the 574?
So we did not approach the budget in that manner. We approached the
Okay.
budget of, where's the budget deficit?
Right.
So we didn't say.
It's
it
going to
is-
fund this or that or the other thing,
Correct.
it's just going to fund the general budget.
Correct.
It's just a funding source like cable fund or CPA or FEMA or, okay, all right, thank you. Yes, do you have a question?
Yes.
Dan?
By approving that amount from the stabilization fund, does that mean that the budget will be break even? It'll be
Yes, it'll be
break even?
balanced. That's the key to it all. So with this information, this is your budget. Do we want to reconsider Article 5, which is the town operating budget, and vote this number? I would read all of these into the record, because we just got them tonight. But it's really up to where you guys are thinking. John has a question.
Well, in one of your notes, you sent out that one of the members had some suggestions for
Yeah.
savings.
There's been several.
Okay, what are those discussions come to? Should we discuss those before this? If someone has a real good idea for save money,
I put down a couple $100,000, other people have, Brian put some down, good ideas in all of them. But the way I see that working is in a discussion with the Board of Selectmen to change the number. In other words, we have to balance a budget.
Right.
And if we've taken 575 out of the stabilization, that balances it. So then we sit down with the selectmen and the schools to talk about their budget, and then we sit down with the selectmen to talk about differences between their positions and ours, and one of them might be that we would like to see that 575 come down even more. We have some ideas, and they would have that in writing in front of them. I'd have it all collected on one sheet of paper, and they would say, well, we don't like this one, we like that one, and there would be that discussion then. We could talk about it the rest of the night, but it doesn't go anywhere until we either, we do something different with them.
okay.
So if you want to vote a balanced budget that appears in the warrant, and I had that discussion with the town administrator today, and we're already anticipating that, this is, we'll go to print this way. We'll have our position, and we'll have a total number, and kind of where we see it coming from. And he already knows that there's gonna be some changes so the motion at town meeting is going to have those changes in it. So we'll be discussing those anyway. So he already knows there's gonna be some. So whether it's some from Brian's list that ends up changing things, some from my list, some from somebody else's list, we'll have those discussions.
Okay.
And there will be a motion that refers to column B in the warrant, Appendix B, and which column we're going to address it on, and do it there, but.
So by approval, this becomes a not-to-exceed number effectively?
Right, yes.
Period. That's the size of the bucket.
That's the bucket, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's a good way to put it, Brian. I would like to hear, your ideas, Dana, and who knows, I may come up with an idea between now and in a week or something. I've got ideas, but no one wants to listen to them.
Well, you read the paper today, you might get an idea from that.
Right.
But that's,
Okay, I
and
understand.
Angelo has that idea as well, to talk
Yeah.
about the fees as well.
Yeah, I mean, I went
Everything
line
will-
by line through the budget.
Yeah, everything will be on the table when we meet with the selectmen.
Okay,
Great.
Yep.
I could do a not-to-exceed.
yep. I can, yep.
So is there a motion to reconsider Article 5,
I make a motion that we reconsider Article 5.
Town Operating Budget?
I second.
It's moved and seconded. Okay, so, even though, we can do it one of two ways. One of you can make the motion reading all of these, or I can read them all into the record, and then we'll take a motion.
Well, first we have to vote the motion to reconsider.
Right. All those in favor of the motion to reconsider, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's a 5-0 vote. So, we have, to make up the total, and the total is $39,140,074. We would take $166,779 from betterment funds, $210,107 from cable funds, $341,750 from CPA funds, $13,855 from FEMA funds, $230,000 from free cash, $208,200 from golf improvements, $200,000 from the overlay surplus, $664,496 from state aid, $730,290 from the Water Enterprise Fund, $100,000 from Waterways and Moorings, the town clerk state aid, $12,000, the county dog fund, always discussed every year, $2,144, the stabilization fund, $574,171, a subtotal of $3,453,792. That would be added to local receipts, and that's been the big problem this year, is local receipts, as far as COVID causing a real reduction in local receipts, and tornadoes and gas bills and all those things. $12,131,298, and then raised and appropriated would be $23,554,983 to make up that total of $39,140,074. Is there a motion to vote that as our total budget?
I'll make a motion that we vote Article, warrant 5.
Article 5.
Total operating budget and the amount not to exceed $39,140,074.
I second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. The motion is to vote that number, not to exceed it.
So I have a question.
Yes, Brian?
So I would like to know if you could tell me, or if Carol could tell me, after this transfer, what would be left in the stabilization fund?
It's just over 3.9 million, but I
After the transfer?
yeah. It's 4.4 something now.
Okay.
So this would bring it down into the 3.9 range. And I know we've talked about that number before, and I know I have it somewhere right here. Carol, would you know the balance in stabilization after we do this?
So the balance as of the end of June, I don't have the July balance right now, but as of the end of June, the balance was $4.5 million. I can get you the exact number. It's right at the tip of my fingers here,
We're
I
patient.
think. Sorry.
There's no games tonight, so we're not missing anything, so.
At the end of June, the stabilization balance was $4,540,652.
$5,040,000.
652, okay, great. Thank you.
welcome.
652. So if you take the 575, whatever,
3.9 or so.
574, 171, it's about 3
Still
million.
close to $4 million.
And that's an interest-bearing account, so it goes up every month. And it would get July's, August, and September's before it was actually used for interest. So we have a motion.
And a second.
We've got a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There's a vote. So, Carol, I'm thinking that we need to also put that amount into Article 4, right?
Well, I don't know because I'm not an attorney, so I can't tell you
Right.
that, but I would think you would. But
Yes.
that's common sense, though, to me.
Yeah, me too. Us people from Maine, we bring common sense whenever we can. So I would, based on our previous vote, I would entertain a motion to reconsider Article 4.
I move to reconsider Article 4.
Second, there's moved and seconded, reconsider Article 4. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. So I would entertain a motion to put the amount we just voted, $574,171 into Article 4.
I make a motion that we accept and adopt warrant 4, use of stabilization funds in the amount of, where is it? Oh, $574,171.
Is there a second to that motion?
A second.
Okay. Discussion on that motion. And again, if the attorneys decide that we didn't have to do that step, we can indefinitely postpone that one later, but I think it's correct as well. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous vote. And I think for tonight, that is all we can vote. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think we're ready to vote a school number yet.
No.
We want to talk to them directly
Yes.
and see what help they can give us, if any. The new one that came out tonight, the bylaw, I don't think we're ready to vote that, seeing that 4 out of 5 of you haven't even seen it yet, and I haven't read it fully yet, so. And then the last one is, what was the other one? The zoning for multifamily, where we're waiting for planning to have their public hearing, and that's not gonna happen till the week before town meeting, so that one will be just before town meeting vote. But all in all, 49 articles, 48 articles, and we voted all but 3 of them, so we voted 45 articles, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Things will change between now and then. Some of the stuff will get to the town meeting, and what we've printed in the warrant is completely different than what we actually move, but that generally happens every year. We gave it our best shot, and I think we're in a good spot right now. Selectmen meet Monday night. Joe's gonna type it Monday night and send it to the paper for publishing, so that the printed record will be out there. So this is all happening very quickly, and we're very lucky to get tonight. I think we're in a much better spot tonight than we were going into tonight, in terms of how we were gonna look in the warrant with 8 no recommendations. So even with the 2 new additions, we were able to make some headway. Anything else we need to talk about tonight?
No.
John's still reading. He says, what did we just do?
This, looking at revenue fund.
All right, so, no meetings next week. Take a week off with pay.
Time and a
And
half.
Thanks to the generosity of Dan tonight, we can each take home some tomatoes
Yeah, you
fresh
can
from
take
his
more than
garden.
three,
And
because we had 3 guys didn't show up, so.
so,
Jamie, you could take another one.
somebody can do the math on how many tomatoes
I
each
could have brought
can
mine,
take.
so you can take more.
Okay, we're gonna-
I'm swimming in mine, so
Oh, okay.
I'm
exactly
having,
like you.
I'm gonna take a bag home, so
Yeah,
don't
so
worry.
take,
Is
I
there,
don't want to take them home.
before we continue
Let me
the
put it that way.
tomato discussion, can we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and adjourned, moved and seconded to adjourn tonight's meeting. We do have one guest on. Before I take anything, Donna, is there anything you want to add? Donna,
I saw her there.
do you have any questions for the Finance Committee, or?
I think she's off the phone.
Apparently, must be.
Yeah,
All right.
if Carol is- if
All
Carol-
those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? We are